Hi, this is Rachelle with Journal Life's Journey, and today I'm going to be using the Your Creative Studio May 2023 subscription box. It is full of vintage style ephemera, papers, stamps with a tropical theme. So I'm going to use these two envelopes that had the stamps in them to create a cover for a booklet. I'm using the washi tape to attach the envelopes, and I'm adding a little glue stick to make sure that they stick. So here I'm just lining up the envelope on the washi tape after I added the glue stick to it, trying to get it as straight as possible. And then I'm going to leave a little gap in between and add the other envelope on the other side of the washi tape. Again, trying to make sure they're lined up and straight. Now here, I shouldn't have cut this off. I should have just folded it over, but I didn't think of it at the time. So I did trim off the washi tape, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I should have just folded that over. So I did fold over the bottom piece. Then I'm going to go over the inside spine area, add a little glue. I thought that maybe I should have left that piece on, but seeing that the flaps are there, I figured, okay, it was probably a good idea to cut that off. And if you want to see the unboxing, see all the goodies in this sub box from Your Creative Studio, I'll link to the video in the iCard up above and in the description box below. You can check it out. If you want to go and see what's available at Your Creative Studio, I'll also link to them in the description box below as well. So my original idea was to use the tissue paper or rice paper to cover the envelopes, but I decided quickly not to do that, and instead I'm going to use like a collage method using some of the vintage style ephemera from the sub box. I also have some vintage book page that was actually used as packaging for an order I placed. So I'm using some of the book page and my tear ruler to create a mat for the envelopes. Also tore a bit of the rice paper, tissue paper, and I'm tearing the edges of some of the ephemera to work out some type of collage for the cover. So I'm just pulling out some of everything from the box. These strips are similar to washi stickers. They're very thin like washi tape, and I thought the design would work well on the cover. I'm also trying to go with a red and green theme to give it kind of a Christmas vibe, but not specifically a Christmas look. So here I've used the Tim Holtz slot pocket die with the vellum from the sub box, and I'm going to use those for ephemera storage on the inside, and I'm going to use a piece of the offcut vellum to layer on the cover as well. So I'm just tearing the edges. Then I'm just going to use the glue stick to add the vellum to the book page. And then I'm going to work on my additional layering. Using vintage photo, I'm going to ink around my collaged piece. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start assembling the other pieces of the collage. I'm using some of the vintage ephemera papers as well as the labels. So I'm using the same idea of collage using the book page, the vellum, and other ephemera pieces from the sub box to create the cover for the back. So here I've gone ahead and stitched around the mats. I'm going to add 2 pieces of ribbon as the closure for the booklet, and I'm just lining those up in the center and straightening them out. Then I'll use some artist tape to hold them in place. So I've added the glue and applying the front mat, and then I'll do the same for the back. And just testing it out to see what the ribbon looks like tied. I do like long ribbons. I'm sure not everybody likes that, but it's something that I find fun. So I'm going to use some of the papers from the sub box to mat the inside covers of the booklet cover. And I decided to go with something that didn't look too tropical. That was just a simple pattern. And I'm just using my ruler to tear the paper to the right size. And I'm going to ink around the edges with the Vintage Photo Distress ink and apply the mats to the inside covers. Again, this cover is made with the envelopes that the stamps came in for this sub box. So I'm using the packaging as my base. And I'm just looking for something to embellish the bottom of the slot pockets with. Here I am using more of the vintage book page. I'm going to use that as a wrap over the edge of the envelope to reinforce that edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my first slot pocket. Just adding a thin line of glue around on the vellum. And I'm just going to repeat that process on the other side. Then I'm going to go ahead and embellish the bottom of the slot pockets with the labels and some washi tape. I also used some of the offcut from the strips I used on the outside cover. So here I'm just going through some of the ephemera from the sub box to add to the slot pockets to fill those up. So here I'm thinking I need to reinforce the flap of the envelope. So I'm using washi tape and a little glue stick to reinforce those flaps. I'm going to create a couple of tags to go in the slot pockets. I had these tab shapes in my stash and I just inked around the edges, and I'm going to use some red distress ink to stamp some lines on one side of the tag. And I'm using some hole reinforcers that I'd already colored. I think I colored them with a brown alcohol ink marker, and I'm just adding that to reinforce those holes. So initially I wanted to use the red ribbon from the same set that the closure came from, but after I let it sit on the tags for a while, I decided against it, but you will see it on the tags a little further into the video. So I added the tags to the slot pockets, not really feeling how the ribbon is hanging out or how it looks. But moving on, I did generate a graphic that I wanted to use for some cards to go in the envelope pockets. So these graphics will be available to patrons for Scrapcraftastic. If you are interested in that, there is a link in the description box below. But I am gluing these onto 3x5 index cards. I'm gluing it on the side where the lines are. Here I'm trimming out the index cards, and this is what it's looking like. And then I'm just going to grunge these up a little bit with some vintage photo. And I'm rounding the corners with the corner rounder that I got from Temu. And I decided to go ahead and stamp the red lines on the back of the cards as well. So I'm using the red distress ink. And of course, that is in keeping with possible use in a Christmas journal or Christmas project. So I'm going to slide the cards into the envelopes. And then I decided I wanted to incorporate the look on those cards into the cover of the booklet. And I also went ahead and removed those ribbons because I just really didn't like the way that looked. So to further incorporate the look of the journal cards onto the cover of the booklet, I printed a smaller version, and I'm going to grunge it up a little bit with the vintage photo and add it as a collage piece to the front cover. And if I do decide to use this for a Christmas project, I can always come back, add a little Christmas floral, maybe add a little poinsettia or a cardinal or even some holly leaves. But I didn't really want to go over the top with Christmas because I'm not sure that that is how I will use it. So at this point, I can use it for any general use. And this is the finished project. So again, I use the Your Creative Studio May sub box. I used the packaging and a lot of the elements that were included in the box. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and I'll holler at y'all next time. Bye.